Alright, so in this tutorial, I already clicked on New, and I chose 2D, and we're going to make a rogue-like game underscore Unity for the folder. I'm going to click on this little thing here, and I'm going to make sure that I go underneath 2D Games Example. So I already made a platformer one, so this is going to be Rogue, and I guess I'll make this lowercase. So Rogue, Unity, blah, 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 create project. It's going to go ahead and build that. Alright, so it's up. So first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and make all my folders I'm going to need. So it's pretty much the same thing every time. I'm going to go folder, and we are going to need an animations folder, animations. And we will create another folder. And this one will be prefabs, because we're perfabulous. Create another folder, and this one's going to be scenes. Alright, and we will create another folder, and this one will be scripts, and we will create another folder, and this one will be sprites. And I think that's all the ones that we need. Okay, so for 2D games, it's pretty much always going to be these 5. You might have more or less depending on other things. There are lots of things to consider. I did that, so I'm going to go ahead and just save this, Control-Shift-S, or you just go File, Save Scene As. I'm going to go to Scenes, and I'm just going to save this as main. Oops, main. Okay, that way it's already saved, and I can just hit Save or Control-S to save or whatever. Now that that's done, what I'm going to do is bring my sprites in. So I'm going to put this over here, and 2D games, oops, that one over here. And let's see, so this one is Charlie Charlton. And actually, so you probably have an artwork folder, and I'm just going to bring these in. So open up my sprites, and I got this ground base, and I have background blocks. I have this background details, and I have this Charlie, and I have this shark. Oops. Get in there, shark. Okay. So for this one, it's not super robust. I didn't make a bunch of animations and stuff just because I'm lazy, but hopefully you make a bunch of more stuff than what I have here. I did the most basic of what can be done. All right. So now that I brought those in, what I need to do is basically just adjust these. So first things first, actually, before I even bother doing that, I need to change my size here. So I'm looking at this. First thing I'm going to do is you have to determine what you want your output to be. What's the platform you're going to build for, okay? So generally speaking, I've been building, so you just go by File, Build Settings, and you can just add Open Scene, so it goes up here. I've been building in web, so you would just select it and hit switch platform, and it'll switch, and that will be its primary. Even though you can just click on it and hit build, it will build to this. But I'm just going to leave it on PC, Mac, and Linux, so depending on what you're on, it's going to build that. Well, okay. I'm not going to build yet, but so that's there. That's great. I can click on player settings here, and it will pop it open. Let's try that again. All right. Player settings. Cool. All right. Well, it's supposed to pop open over there. Oh, that's because I was on services. It'll pop open over there. Now, the other way to do it is to go to Edit, Project Settings, and then Player. Okay, so I'm going to go over to, let's see, full screen. Default is full screen. Okay, so I can change the size here. Right now the default is full screen, which basically, if you look at your screen, it's 16:10 or 16:9, depending on how you would like to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this to 16:9. So that's my basic aspect ratio. So that's what I'm picturing the game being played on. And that'll be good. So that way I know kind of what it's going to look like. All right. All right. Okay. So from there, I'm going to go ahead and now I can go ahead and look at my sprites. And I just want to bring them in to get an idea. So I'm looking at this, and that's way too big. So I'm going to adjust my import size. So I'm just going to use this one as a kind of guide. Oh, you know what? Actually, it just occurred to me. I don't want to do 16:9 because this is going to be kind of a squarish game. So I'm actually going to change the aspect ratio and stuff. So I'm going to go back to edit. I'm just going to do it through this way, and we're going to go to player, and I'm going to do change this from 1024 to 768 to 1024 by 1024. And then over here, like this is what's going to output, but I'm going to go over here, and I made a custom one. I named it web, but you just hit the plus, and then you can type in whatever you want. Or if you type in nothing, it will just end up being just the resolution. And then for the width and height, I made sure I was on fixed. Oops. I did 1024 by 1024. Okay. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and select web. And now that is my resolution of what's going to get exported. It's kind of weird. Okay. So that'll be the game, and this will be this. All right. That's a little bit better. All right. So let's go back to sprites. I'm going to drop this in there. Come on. All right. So this is way too large. It's not going to work for me. I got to make it smaller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, and I'm just going to use this as a guide because everything's kind of comparison to the character itself. And so yeah, I'm going to, right here is the resolution. So basically what it's saying is that per unit, so each one of these little squares is a unit, okay? So in each one of these units, it's 100 pixels, okay? So if I were to select this image, select it here, you can see it's 1660 by 960, okay? So, but watch what happens if I put 1660 in this for the thing. It'll be the size of one unit, so 1660. And I will apply. And you'll see that now it is 1 unit wide. Okay, so that's what this is. It's saying how many of these units. So if you look, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. I'm picturing this taking up the space of roughly, now obviously this is broken up into a bunch of sections, of roughly around a unit, we'll say. Maybe a little bit less. So this is clearly not going to work. So let's try like 500. Just going to punch in numbers till I find something that looks good. And 500 works for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and assign that to all of these. So I'm going to hold shift and select all of it. And I'm just going to type in 500 like that. And then I'll hit apply. And now all of them are going to be brought in at 500 pixels per unit. Okay. And that is good. So I'm going to take this guy and we are going to delete it. And what I'm going to do is make him a background and we'll go from there. So I'm going to take this guy, I'm going to drop him in here, and that is fine. I'm going to go ahead and scale this up. All right. Let's see if we do this again. Scale it up. All right. And I'm going to go a little bit wider. Just want to fit this. Okay. So basically it covers the entirety of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make different sorting layers. So we'll have a background one, and then we'll have one for the blocks and things, and subsequently each one. So I'm just going to make one right now. So I'm going to go to here. I'm going to add a sorting layer. And basically these are just, they're layers just like you would have in Photoshop. And within those layers, you can kind of have sub layers. You'll see you'll have numbers, but we'll have a background, and we'll just do background at least to start with. So I'm just going to go ahead and do don't want to do capital. I did capital, so we'll do background, and well, usually I do background, midground, and we'll do foreground. That should be good enough. And we'll do foreground. Beautiful. Okay. Boom, 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 and I'm gonna go back to this because even though I made those sorting layers, it doesn't actually attach it. So we'll do background. So now this is attached to background, and 0. That's the most back it goes. It goes from 0, and then the numbers go up. Okay. So yay, there's the background. Now what I'm gonna do is go back. Where are you? My sprites. And I made this just generic, general thing here. That's just a graphic, and we will scale this up. Oh, okay. So what I'm gonna do, it's behind the other graphic right now. So I'm gonna add this to background, and then I'm gonna put this on 1, and that basically means it's 1 above that grass. Okay. And I'm looking at it, and that looks fine. So what I'm gonna do is over here, I'm going to take it, I'm gonna put it up in the corner, and I'm going to duplicate it. And I am going to, let's say, rotate it on Z, X, Y, Z, and I will do 90. Okay. And then I'm going to duplicate again. And then I'm just trying to make it so it's more varied. And then we'll do it 180. Okay, we'll put that there. And then I'm going to duplicate it again. And then I'm going to make this 270. All right, like so. Good. All right, so I got all these, and I'm going to duplicate that, and we will put that in the middle here, and then I will duplicate that, and we'll put that here, and we'll hold E, and hopefully it rotates. Good. We're going to rotate them all around, like so. W, pull it up like that, and we will duplicate that, and put that one here. Okay, so that should be enough variance of all that stuff there. And I am going to go ahead and create an empty, and I'm just going to call this background. Okay, and actually I should capitalize that, background. Boom. And I'm just going to go ahead and take all of this and just parent it to this, so it's not so giganticus. Okay, and so now you can see here it is there, and that looks okay. You know, it's just enough to kind of add some variance and stuff. Okay, so I did that. Now, next what I need to do is I'm going to make the outside walls. What I need to do is I just kind of lay these out here. I didn't do anything really as far as the imports because they were kind of fine the way they were. But I am going to make some changes now. So when you look at this one, and this one, we'll start with this one. So if you look, there's a lot of extra white space around it. I don't want all that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it. And even though it's not multiples, I'm going to do multiple. I'm going to hit, actually, we're going to revert. I'm going to select this one, and this one. I'm just holding control. Come on. Really? There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and switch all of these to multiples. And we'll hit apply. Boom. Okay. Now what I can do is I'm going to select this one first. I'm going to hit the sprite editor. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go slice. And I'm going to make sure it's automatic and slice. And you'll see that it cuts right to the edge of it. And I'll hit apply. Bam. Now that's a little bit, now if you look here, you see it's a little bit tighter, which is better. I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to do the same thing. Slice. And we will just do automatic. Apply. Good. And this one's a little bit different. This is a sprite sheet. So if you look at it, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 columns, and I have 2 rows. So what I'm going to do instead is, for some reason, this one didn't get multiple. Should have been. I don't know why that didn't happen. I'm going to go to slice, and instead of doing automatic, because it will make them each individual, and it, because the scale actually changes because he's squatting, it won't quite work as well as I'd like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do grid by cell size, not cell size, cell count. And so you see columns and rows. So I have 4 columns, and I have 2 rows. And then I'll hit slice. And it'll make these perfect cuts. And that's basically how I laid it out, and then I'll hit apply. Okay, so that way it's nice and even, and when you look at it like this, you can see beauteous. Okay, yay, that's all good. And I don't understand what happened here. So these are all backgrounds. Let me just see something. If I play, is it gonna pop back up? All right, that doesn't make any sense. Because this is on 0, and these are backgrounds. Oh, sprite, missing sprite, it says. That is weird. Boop. And it should be background. Base, background blocks. That's weird. Okay. Okay, something is sprite editor. Shows it up there. That's good. This should not have been multiples. Apply. Okay. I don't know. That was weird. I think I accidentally applied it to this one when I didn't mean to. Oh, there it goes. It's back. Somehow this got changed to, I must have accidentally selected it. Okay. Good. So, boop. All right. And I'm just going to go ahead and save this. And we will make the walls next. So basically I'm going to take, if I bring this up here, you can't see it, but I'm going to take, these various pieces here, and we're going to build our level with them. Okay, and we'll do that next.